Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. In this video, I'm discussing three 2025 Middle Eastern fragrance releases. I think one of them is hardly on the market. Even when it comes to the original one, Angel Share Paradise, I have no idea how it smells. I've never come across it. Neither have I watched or read anything about it. So I got this one, and it's supposed to be a flanker of the original Angel Share, but I have no idea how the original one smells. I have not watched anything on Angel Share Paradise, and this is going to be my first brush or encounter with the dupe from Rayhaan, known as Valhalla Legion, Valhalla. And before I start this, I would like to say this. Rayhaan fragrances, when it comes to their masculine leaning fragrances, I think they are top notch. They are among the best, dupes on the market when it comes to their masculine leaning scent. I'm not such a fan of their feminine scent. There is a little bit of, I'm not such a fan, but one of their best interpretations or some of their best interpretations on the market comes from Rayhaan when it comes to the masculine leaning scent. Before I do that, I think I'm going to insert a clip of my outfit of the day. I did something, so I'll put it I'll insert it before I proceed with the rest of the video. Rayhaan Legion Valaha, I think that is how it's pronounced. And this is supposed to be a clone of Angel Share Paradise. And the notes for this includes the following. There is cognac, there is liqueur and raspberry at the top. In the middle, we have tonka bean, oak moss, Bulgarian rose. And then at the base, there is oak, praline, and then sandalwood. So this one reminds me so much of the original Angel Share. There is very little difference, in my opinion, between the two fragrances. I don't have a bottle of the original Angel Share, but I have Kismet Angel from Maison Alhambra, which I maintain is one of the best interpretations of Angel Share from any Middle Eastern brand or house, Kismet Angel. And it smells so identical to this Rayhaan Legion Valaha, which I have no idea how the original Paradise smells. But I think the differences are very negligible in my opinion. Aside that note of raspberry that is infused in this one that I get, and a shisha accord. I get a shisha accord that I don't get in the original one. There's a bit of a smoky accord in the original one, not the most noticeable. But in the case of Valaha from Rayhaan, I get a very noticeable shisha accord, not necessarily smoke, but a heavy shisha accord. That reminds me of the shisha accord I find in something like Veneno Black from F.A. Paris and then Mashubaya from Latafa. It gives me a very identical shisha accord, but it's more like a raspberry shisha accord. And it still maintains that same Angel Share, apple pie, cinnamon heavy, boozy cognac, that heavy, thick, rich, boozy vibe and the cinnamon and the Christmas feel. It maintains that same exact DNA. So I think it didn't really deviate from the original Angel Share or Kismet Angel that I have. They are quite identical to the extent that people may say it is quite redundant, I don't know, but it feels like they share so many similar DNA. I don't know how the original smells, as I keep indicating, but this supposed dupe gives me or reminds me of the original Angel Share about 95% with the infusion of that raspberry shisha accord. It still maintains every single thing that the original one has, but I think the only difference I find is a bit of a creaminess, especially at the dry down. If I'm supposed to put it in a layman's, description, I would describe it as an infusion between Kismet Angel and Ansam Gold from Latafa. If I could bring that raspberry smoky nuance of Ansam Gold, not Rayna. Rayna doesn't have that smoky thing that Ansam Gold, from Latafa has. So it gives me a combination of Kismet Angel and then Ansam Gold. That marshmallow creaminess of Ansam Gold, I find something quite similar in this one. And that is the only significant difference I find between this and the original Angel Share or Kismet Angel. So in my opinion, you can describe it as redundant in the sense that it still maintains that same exact angel share, apple pie, cinnamon, cognac, boozy, DNA with an additional note of that raspberry and a shisha accord. You can also say it is not redundant because of that presence of those, notes or accords. That is how I would simply describe it. I don't know. For the price point of this one, you might as well get this one. I have it available here at I Smell Good Though. So yeah, that is how it is to me. I'm just trying to be as accurate and as transparent as possible because you're not getting any significant huge difference between this one and the original Angel Share or any of the several other dupes on the market. And that is going to be my take on Rayhaan's Legion Valhalla. The second fragrance in this video is from Hawas, and this is Hawas Tropical, and it's supposed to be a clone of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Paradise or Paradise. And it has the following notes. There is coconut water, ginger, and then fig leaf at the top. In the middle, we have coconut and fig again. So 2 layers of coconut and fig. And then there is mint. At the base, there is sandalwood, tonka, and then musk. First of all, the DNA of this particular fragrance, including the original one, is one that I'm not a huge fan of. I don't think I'm for that heavy fig and coconut water combination. There is something about it that throws me off. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't enjoy it on men. Even the original one, I don't enjoy it on, on skin, on men. I've smelt it on someone. It wasn't anything groundbreaking or something that I would, recommend or even compliment. It's a scent profile that I feel is quite boring in my opinion. I guess for in as much as it is quite refreshing and watery and aquatic and marine-like and minty and a bit aromatic and the coconut water and the fig. I think it is a coconut water and fig combination that I'm not a fan of. It comes across as a bit boring in my opinion. Is it a good clone of the original one? Yes, it is. In my opinion, from my smell test with the original one and this one, it is quite identical or very identical. But I'm not just a fan of the DNA in general. So if you're a fan of the DNA, I would say go for this one, because it's very identical. But as Ajua is not a fan of the scent profile in general. I don't know. There's something about this that I don't enjoy, not even on men, and I find it quite boring. So for that reason, I'll just leave it here. I'll just, not go into other details. Performance is abysmal. It is not super long lasting and super strong. It's something you just want to throw on you and then yeah, a few hours into it, it is basically gone. It becomes a skin scent. If you want that simple, everyday, aromatic, a little spice, a little fresh with the refreshing coconut fig sort of thing, you might want to go for it. But I personally am not a fan of it. And yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this as one of the best summer scent to go for. So for that reason, I will leave it here. And that is going to be my take on Hawas Tropical from Rasasi. And the last fragrance is from Armaf, and this is Ombre Doll. I think it's supposed to be a clone of Crystal Saffron from Matière Première, and I've always had this one from F.A. Paris, Saffron Elixir, which I think it is a good one. However, upon spraying and testing the one from Armaf Ombre Doll, I think I enjoy this one a lot more. It is much more smoother. It has the notes of lime and musk at the top. There is iris and metallic notes in the middle. There is saffron and rose as well. And then at the base, there's incense, woody notes, and then amber. It is a typical male masculine, DNA. It gives me more of a masculine DNA, but it is that note of that metallic notes that makes it different. It doesn't necessarily remind me of the Guymed DNA, although it's been compared to that. It's quite similar, but not necessarily the same thing. that takes that, leathery direction. Whereas this one is more of an irisy violet. I get that floral violet as much as I get the metallic nuance, that ozonic, metallic, mineral, vibe. I get it. And it is also quite woody and musky and powdery. It is quite unique smelling. It gives me a bit of a unique smell. It is not fresh. In my opinion, I wouldn't consider it as a fresh scent, although it has a note of lime. The lime, it feels a little and sweetened. There is very little sweetness to this one. It feels like a very bitter lime, feel, and the powdery, irisy, violet sort of feel gives it a floral, metallic vibe with a metallic note, ozonic metallic note. It is different. It's a very woody, floral, metallic fragrance with powderiness and musky touches. It's quite unique, and if there's anything I would compare it would be that Guymed DNA with a twist. I wouldn't say 100% Guymed, but it's just to give you a fair idea of how that DNA is, minus the leather in Guymed. If you subtract that leather in Guymed and give it more of a floral, irisy, powdery, more woodsy feel, that is where you're going to get crystal saffron. In this case, Armaf Ombre Door. I think I prefer this one a lot more than the one from FA Paris known as Saffron Elixir. So yeah, that is going to be my take on this fragrance. I think it is much more masculine leaning. It performs so well, on skin. It performs so well. Sillage is amazing. People smell you. It gives me more of a very masculine vibe, like suit and tie. It doesn't give me anything casual vibes. It gives me more of a suit and tie sort of vibe. And that is my take on Ombre Dior from Armaf. And that is going to be it for today. And I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.